hard offense to play against. I know. But make a tackle. You may have not have seen a triple offense or triple option offense, but you know how to tackle.
If we were talking about this last night, Sean and I were. We were saying, okay, OU's never going to see a triple option offense like this again. And we're like, all right, whatever. And then thinking about, is it possible to install the triple option in a weekend? Obviously, it's not, especially not to the degree that Army deploys it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I get you.
It really was a marvel to watch. I had a lot of fun watching it yesterday. At Producer Show on Twitter, if you want to get a hold of us, or you can just follow us individually at Matt Ravis, at A Brissett, A Brissett spelled A-B-R-E-A. S-E-T-T-E. Every time I spell that, I think I'm going to stumble. It feels like a guy doing a high wire act. Sometimes I manage to do it. And then finally, the Cummins Auto Group in Weatherford text line. That is 88474. Type forward text a space and then your message. 7978 texted in and says, what song is that you played for your intro? That started from the bottom by Drake. Which, by the way, I didn't read this at all. I just saw this headline. Drake canceled concerts due to serious illness. So that's kind of weird.
That's rough.
A little bit strange. So I don't know what's really going on there. We're not going to get into that today. Maybe that's more of a secret stash story. We will see. But again, yeah, OU beats Army yesterday, 28-21, and it was.
It was nuts.
You're not going to see 339 rushing yards in a game for a very long time.
No, you're right. You're right. And they were just getting. It was just OU got beat. It was that. I mean, the scoreboard obviously didn't show it. OU got the W, which was my point coming into this right here. The motto of, and I'm going to say this, as much as we're going to pick OU this week and tear them apart, deservedly so, the motto of any sport out there is what? Survive and advance. Yes, we're gonna rip OU a new one this week. I know it. Every sports station, everywhere, the national media, it's going to be a big deal. OU's defense can't do this or that. But as long as you have that W in the win column, you're still good. Look, LSU, they handled Louisiana Tech fairly well. I think it was like 38-21. So, but they're not. I don't think they jump OU from 6-5. OU just a kind of a flip flop. Stanford, they barely beat Oregon, who's a top 25. They're number 20, so they're not jumping anybody. They're going to stay at 7, in my opinion, at least. I don't know. The AP top 25 might come out while we're on the show here today. But if you're OU, that front 7, granted, you're going to be playing it. You're not going to play against it. Just don't schedule a triple option team ever again. Don't do it. But you're going to be playing against spread offenses for the rest of the season. However, if that front 7 does not get their bleat figured out, it's going to be a long, long season.
Yeah, and sometimes those kinds of games are necessary, and like you said, a W is a W. It counts the same.
It does.
Either way, if you massacre them, or if you barely squeak by the skin of your teeth, like it seemed like OU did last night.
Right.
So again, we are the Producer Show. I'm Matt Ravis, Austin Brissett here on hand. We are going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to update you on NFL games in progress, which games are happening today. They just kicked off about 10 minutes ago. It'll be about 15 when we get back. So we'll see if anybody has scored by then. But yeah, next segment we're going to talk about NFL games in progress. That's coming up after a quick timeout.
Broadcasting from the Lucky Star Studio, Sports Radio is 107.7 The Franchise.
Hello, everybody. Bo Newsom with Mad Max and his daughter Alicia coming to you from Automax Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram in Shawnee. And Max, why can we sell more cars for less money than all the dealerships in the city?
We've been here 20 years. We have a very low overhead. Low overhead means the best prices, and on top of that, the best service after the sale. A 2018 Ram 1500 quad cab fully loaded, only $21,900. Or check this out, a brand new redesigned 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Latitude, $19,500. The Oklahoma City stores, Metro stores can't compete. And another thing, folks, we can always include your tax, time, and license with every purchase. Ain't that right, Alicia?
There has never been a better time to buy a Ram truck or a Jeep. Going on during the Ram Power Days and Jeep Adventure Days here at Automax Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram off I-40 in Harrison, exit 186, or shop us online at automaxdodge.com.
2018 Dodge Ram, stock number D7502. 2019 Jeep Cherokee Latitude, stock number J2594.
The deals are automatic at Automax.
Why not try CBD Plus USA? CBD Plus USA is Oklahoma's most trusted source for CBD products. We are locally owned and operated, and we have a 100% money-back guarantee. Plus, if you mention this ad, you can get a 500 milligram bottle of 100% CBD for just $19.99. Visit CBDPlusUSA.com today to find one of our over 30 locations near you. CBD Plus USA. You have nothing to lose but pain.
It's time for the Yellow Tag sales event at your local BRP dealer, where you can save big on new Can-Am off-road vehicles. Can-Am vehicles were made to perform and make the most out of any challenge. And right now, quality costs less, because you can save up to $2,000 on select Can-Am vehicles. Just stop by your local BRP dealer right now before the Yellow Tag sales event is gone. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
Welcome to Jimmy John's.
Hi, your new 9-grain wheat sub is so good. How do you make it?
With the highest quality ingredients and love. I mean, we definitely don't sing at lullabies when it's baking. Lullabies are what parents sing to babies.
Right.
And we don't use a baby carrier to carry the warm, fresh 9-grain wheat subs to the cooling racks. I mean, they're not babies. They're for making delicious sandwiches.
Okay, I'll take a turkey tom.
Oh, don't name them. It makes it harder.
Try our new 9-grain wheat sub, Jimmy John's. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary when you wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and it's also reduced my snoring. My wife's happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 405-355-8000. That's 405-355-8000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
Oklahoma, it's time to run up the score and hang more than 100 on them.
How about over 110?
All right, boys, what are you up to now? Seth, we're running up the Ford truck score on the state, and we're in the lead by a lot at Seth Wadley Ford in Pauls Valley. Tell them how we do it, Shane.
Oklahoma, this is how we do it in the country. We price every Ford truck better than anyone else, like $12,000 off new Ford XLT F-150 Crew Cab 4x4s with many to choose from. We give more money for your trade-in, and we actually treat you with some respect.
That's $12,000 off new Ford F-150 XLT trucks to hang more than 100 Ford trucks sold on them.
Hey, that's why we are Oklahoma's Ford Truck King.
There's only one Seth Wadley.
And don't forget about my promise of oil changes and engines for life on new or used, gas or diesel, at no additional cost to you.
Put a little gravel in your travel and take that short drive to Pauls Valley. Only at Seth Wadley Ford. I-35, exit 72, Pauls Valley, or click
SethWadleyFord.com.
Seth Wadley Ford.
Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie. MyBookie is the industry-leading sports betting website that offers real Vegas odds on football, baseball, and all your favorite sporting events. You can take a side, the total, or even fantasy props. MyBookie lets you bet online and win big. Did the game already kick off? Don't sweat it. MyBookie has in-game live betting on every major league and event, even esports. There's no better time to join MyBookie than today. Go to MyBookie to open an account and start winning. Use promo code RADIO when you register for your account and get a 100% sign-up bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Bet today. Visit MyBookie's website or call 844-866-2387. That's 844-866-2387. Check them out today and use promo code RADIO to get your first deposit matched dollar for dollar. Terms and conditions apply for entertainment purposes only. Void where prohibited.
The flagship station for OU football is Oklahoma's new sound for sports. 107.7, The Franchise.
Welcome back. Apologies for our Twitch audience having some issues. It says the Twitch machine got unplugged, Austin. To my knowledge, there is not a Twitch machine. So.
I've never heard of a Twitch machine, so.
Who knows? Who knows what that means? We're efforting it back up, as Jerry Ramsey would say. So we'll try to get that the Twitch working for sure. That's definitely our favorite way of you getting in touch with us. So kind of a bummer. It's all good though. Twitter @Producer Show. If you want to tweet at us, that's probably the best way, I would say, for now. Also, the Cummins Auto Group and Weatherford text line. That works as well. That is 884-74. Type the word text, a space, and then your message. All right, Austin, let's get into some NFL games here in progress. Let's start with the most shocking one first. Congrats to Josh Allen on his first NFL touchdown. Runs it in from about 10 yards out for his first touchdown of his NFL career. Not a bad drive for him either. He goes 4 for 5, 34 yards. If you had a prop bet on the Bills, scoring first against the Minnesota Vikings, probably pretty happy. If I can talk, Austin. Jeez.
I was about to say it's early. No, it's not early. That's how long it's been this weekend. I understand.
No, it's been a long weekend. So, Bills on top of the Vikings. 7-0 Eagles score in Carson Wentz's return. Austin, he looks just fine.
Oh, yeah. Carson, me and Mike had a conversation about Carson Wentz this morning, and he asked me, he goes, are you starting Carson Wentz? I said, absolutely. Just because, I get it. He's coming back off of injury, but Carson Wentz has proved how good he can be, regardless of if he's coming off an injury or not. He's also playing the Colts, who have been a little shaky in the secondary, so I figured he'd tear him a new one.
I am so fantasy risk averse, Austin. I told someone this morning I would rather start, I can't remember who the other quarterback was. I think it was Russell Wilson, so not a terrible quarterback. Over a Carson Wentz, just because I need to see them on the field for at least 1 week if they're coming back from injury, just to be sure how it goes. Unless it's Aaron Rodgers, that's the golden exception right there. Other than that one name, anybody else I'm sitting. So that's just how I am in fantasy football. But it looks like if you started Carson Wentz, that might work out for you today. Also of note, he throws it to rookie tight end Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
He got a lot of hype. Hasn't been a factor with Nick Foles in, but it's a different ball game with Carson Wentz in the game.
It definitely is. And Dallas Goedert's the one that the Eagles drafted. They jumped in front of the Cowboys to pick up that tight end, wasn't it? Kind of a troll, if you will.
Cowboys could use that tight end right now. That's for sure.
Yes, no doubt. They really could.
Saints on top of the Falcons 7-0. Who else but Drew Brees with the passing touchdown. 56 yards, 64 yards. He completes a pass as we speak. Amazing technology these days. Chiefs up 7-0 over the 49ers. Kareem Hunt with a rushing touchdown. He's got 7 yards so far in a rushing touchdown. Raiders up early on the Dolphins. Derek Carr with 150 yards. There's still 8:30 left in the first quarter.
Derek Carr has 150 yards?
And there's still 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Me and Mike were talking about sitting Derek Carr. He was one of our duds this week.
And Jordy Nelson has 139 of them.
Good Lord. And there's still 8 minutes left in the first quarter?
Yeah, And that Miami Dolphins has typically been, or defense, has been one that's pretty stout against the pass, so that's surprising. A lot of scoring early on in these games. Remember, they just kicked off about 20 minutes ago. The Packers and Redskins up 7-0 over the Packers. Alex Smith has a passing touchdown in that one. Bengals up 7-0 over the Panthers. Gio Bernard filling in for Joe Mixon after the knee scope with a rushing touchdown.
Love it.
Broncos and Ravens, and remember, these are all early. They're tied up at 7. Alex Collins has a touchdown in that game. I'll have to see who scored for the Broncos here. Any fantasy relevant guys in this game? You talked about this. It's Royce Freeman, by the way. Royce Freeman has a rushing touchdown for the Broncos. Any fantasy relevant guys from this game, or is this one you're trying to stay away from?
It was more so we said sit Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas, he's usually a reliable guy. I had him a couple years ago in one of my leagues, and he would give me some points, but he's not getting near as many targets as he used to because Emmanuel Sanders is going to town. I think last week he had like 200-something yards receiving. And the Ravens slot corner, Tavon Young, he's been getting smoked this year, so that's where Emmanuel Sanders is going to line up. So, of course, they're going to target him more. So I think I'm pretty sure that was the only one we said to sit down in that game. But other than that, nobody.
That was a game I was definitely staying away from. Just I thought it was going to be kind of a defensive brawl, a slugfest type of deal.
Sure.
I think it's one of those games where somebody has to get the points, right? It's just good luck picking who. So far, it's Alex Collins. And then the other game in action right now is Texans-Giants. Texans up 3-0 over the Giants. We've got Chargers-Rams later today, Bears-Cardinals, Cowboys-Seahawks, Patriots-Lions, and then the Monday night game is Steelers-Buccaneers. So there you go. There's your NFL slate for Week 3. At Matt Ravis, at A. Brissett on Twitter, or at Producer Show. If you've got fantasy football questions, I know there's a bunch of games in progress right now, but if you've got some start-sit questions for later, trade questions, waiver questions, we can definitely help you out there. So send us a question at Producer Show or our Twitter names, like I just said. Also, the Cummins Auto Group and Weatherford text line. That is 88474. Type the word text, a space, and then your message.
Now, I have a question for you, and Mike asked me this morning, and I said yes eventually, but not just yet. What do you think Baker Mayfield becomes a reliable starter in fantasy football at some point?
I'm not starting him this week.
Sure.
Not at all. I need to see.
I said the same thing. Yep.
I like I said with Carson Wentz earlier. I mean, he's got that track record. I needed to see him back at least for one game to see that consistency there, because that's a big thing. You have to monitor how they're going game to game. He was good in spot duty.
Yeah.
The Jets did not game plan for Baker Mayfield whatsoever.
Yeah, they had no tape.
No tape on him. They did not know what was going to happen. They game planned for Tyrod Taylor. Granted, it's probably not all that different between the two.
Sure.
It's not like they're leaps and bounds apart, but still, I need to see Baker Mayfield go up for more. I obviously believe in the talent. How could you not?
Yeah, of course.
How could you not believe in the talent? And you could see the way that Tyrod was zipping the ball versus the way that Baker was zipping. Like there was no comparison. There was absolutely no comparison to the way they played. So that's a long way to say I'm not starting him this week, and I'm probably not starting him the week after. I need to see a couple of solid performances put up by Baker. I need to see some touchdowns.
So consistency basically is what you're getting at, and that's not to say he wasn't electric. Just like you said, I mean the guy, he's obviously he's got the potential to be something special, but we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks. Thoughts on Ryan Fitzpatrick? He's going against a Steelers team who gave up 6 touchdowns last week against Pat Mahomes, and it's a Monday Night Football game in Tampa Bay. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been dominant.
I don't see any reason to start Jameis Winston whenever he's back from suspension.
Exactly. So, and from a fantasy standpoint, are you riding that train until Fitzpatrick falls apart?
That is the that is the test case right there. That is Exhibit A for why you don't reach on a quarterback early in a fantasy draft, because you can find waiver wire gold year in and year out. And a lot of the times that waiver wire gold has been Ryan Fitzpatrick. He has been an amazing fantasy guy. Now, he's been inconsistent. That's kind of to be expected, right? I mean, otherwise he would be a starting quarterback in the NFL. There's a reason he is a backup, but in the right matchup, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been living up to his name. He's Fitzmagic, so it depends. If obviously you're not going to start him over Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God, no.
You're probably not even ever going to start him over Phillip Rivers unless he just continues to put up crazy performances. So, it kind of depends on your quarterback situation. Like, if I drafted Aaron Rodgers, I might be trying to shop him a little bit with all of the quarterbacks out there on the waiver wire. I feel like there are quite a few that people didn't draft who are viable. Like Blake Bortles, for example. Mm-hmm. That's a guy who's been a top 13 quarterback in fantasy football for the past 4 years, I think.
And last week he looked like an all-star.
But people hate him for whatever reason. And now he actually, and that was whenever he was not a good quarterback. But like you said, last week he looked like an all-star. He was putting balls through windows and was just awesome. So always wait on a quarterback.
What about the Cardinals? They're playing the Bears, okay, and that's at 3:30 today. Now the Cardinals, rough start. Sam Bradford looks not too hot. I mean, that's saying it nicely. Larry Fitzgerald, he's usually old reliable. We talked about this morning, and this is from a fantasy perspective. He has not been what he usually is, just getting some catches for 30, 40, 50 yards, which, I mean, can be serviceable. I mean, kind of, but he hasn't been near what he usually is. Khalil Mack coming to town. We all know what that freaking guy can do. How do you feel about David Johnson, the whole crew?
Oh, I don't like Arizona at all. It's been bad. I don't even think they crossed the 50-yard line last week.
It has been.
I really don't think that they crossed the 50-yard line. If they did, I didn't see it. I'm positive that Sam Bradford didn't have a first down in the game. It was incredibly rough performance by the Cardinals. They might actually be they and the Bills,
the worst two teams.
And the Bills that looked pretty impressive earlier, at least on their opening drive of the game. Those are the two worst teams in the NFL, so definitely start the Bears defense. Start David Johnson because you have to, and you believe in the talent still, even though the team isn't there. You have to believe they integrate him better than they have. Unfortunately for Larry Fitzgerald, there's not much you can do if you're not getting the ball from the quarterback.
That's very true.
I mean, Sam Bradford hasn't had time to throw the ball to Larry Fitzgerald. If he has thrown the ball his way, he's been inaccurate, so not a lot he can do. I would be interested to see how his value changes with Josh Rosen in.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about Sam Bradford's value or Larry
Fitzgerald's value and David Johnson's value for that matter.
It'd be kind of interesting to see. I mean, if that O-line, picked it up at least a little bit, if Josh Rosen could get in there and show what he's got, and I mean, if he can get it to him, man, if he could turn that team around, it's going to be hard to do it like Baker did, but in some way, shape, or form to get the Cardinals going, I don't see them winning today. The line is Chicago -6. I think Chicago covers that without issue at all, even though they're on the road.